The bar chart is one of the most popular methods of displaying data, be it comfort of your own home, school, exam room, or workplace. The bar graphs are literally everywhere. Whether you are putting an online pizza order or sending a rocket into space, you will encounter it. The bar chart will help you to get the job done. Bar charts can display any kind of information clearly and conveniently. Also, the ability to make this bar chart is one of the most in-demand skills in an industry. While making a bar chart isn't particularly difficult, making the one that meets your specific needs can be tricky. It requires a fair amount of effort in deciding the appropriate parameter and plotting the bar graph data in a reasonable format. And things will get more difficult if you have no idea what is a bar chart and how it is used in a particular field. You won't be able to impress your boss with just an eye-catchy bar chart. But don't worry, I got you covered. In this tutorial, I will show you step by step on how to use Excel to create various bar charts which is suited for your industry. Also, we will take some example on how to read and understand this bar chart. This will help you to rise and shine in every meeting you attend with your boss or your client. So, what is bar chart? Well, a bar chart is a graph that displays categorical data using rectangular bars with proportional height or length of their value. It shows the data relationship with the help of two axes. One axis, it represents the category, and another axis, it represents the discrete values. Furthermore, the length of each bar is proportional to value it represents. The bar charts are used to compare data from different groups. Also, the bar chart shows the major changes in available data over the time. These bars can be plotted horizontally or vertically. A vertical bar chart is also known as column chart. So, the next question is how to draw this bar chart. Let's take an example how to draw this chart manually. Lisa's mother requested that she purchase few cakes for Halloween party. Lisa went to the market and bought a variety of cakes in various quantity. At cake shop, she ordered 5 pineapple cake, 3 mango cake, 2 black forest cake, 3 strawberry cakes, and 6 banana cakes. When she got to home, she wanted to summarize her spending to her mother. She wanted to visualize the cake data in bar chart so that she can explain which type of cake she bought most and where she spent the majority of his money. Let's create a bar chart with this information. Step number 1 is to draw the horizontal axis. We call it x-axis. This axis represents the different category or type of item. For Lisa, this axis is basically representing the type of cake she bought. And this would be pineapple, mango, black forest, strawberry, and banana. Each bar represents one category. The second step is to draw the vertical axis. We call it y-axis. This axis represents the value of each category. For Lisa, this axis will represent the number of cake she bought. The third step is to fix the scale parameter of the vertical axis. Lisa's data of the cake consists of numbers like 5, 2, 6, and 3. So, the appropriate scale would be 1 to 10. The fourth step is to draw the rectangular bar with height equal to the value of each category. So, for Lisa's chart, the height of the column would be 5 for pineapple cake, 3 for the mango cake, 2 for the black forest cake, 3 for strawberry cakes, and 6 for banana cake. The final step is to give the suitable title to the bar chart. Like for Lisa's case, it could be most bought cake. And now the bar chart is ready with correct visual representation. And by the way, Lisa's mother was very much impressed with her chart making skill. Always remember, while drawing a bar chart, it's necessary to mark 4 important parameters. That is, label on axis, title of the bar chart, scale, and the name of the axis. Lisa's example was a simple demo of bar chart in real life. However, the use of bar chart in professional world varies from financial chart to complex statistics model. Depending on type of data and categories, the bar charts are mainly classified into 4 types. First type is called the horizontal bar chart, which is a graph given the data represented in horizontal bar on a graph paper. The measure of provided data are displayed in these horizontal rectangular bars. With this style, the x-axis and y-axis are labeled with the data category. Bar chart's horizontal representation is displayed in y-axis category. The second type is the vertical bar chart. Vertical bar chart is visual representation of given data using the vertical bars. The measure of the data is represented by these vertical rectangular bars. On X and Y axis, the vertical lines are drawn to represent the rectangular bar. The number of variables listed on the x-axis is represented by the rectangular shape. Also, remember the bars in bar chart can be plotted horizontally as well as vertically. Among the most two types, the most used bar chart is vertical bar chart. Further, vertical and horizontal bar chart can be classified into two more categories, and that is the third category, which is called group bar chart. The group bar chart is also referred as cluster bar chart. It represents the discrete value for two or more categorical data. For example, if the bar chart represents the three groups with many variables, then each value will represent by the different color. The color coding of each group will be same for similar data value. The fourth type is stacked bar chart. Stacked bar chart is also known as composite bar chart. It shows the division of the whole bar chart into different parts. To easily identify the category, we use different colors to specify the various labeling. Thus, in stacked bar chart, the rectangular bar represents the whole parameter. In one bar, we will show the multiple segments with different color. Each segment in the bar shows a different part of the respective level. It can also be drawn vertically and horizontally. So this was all about the bar chart and its four types. Now the next question is how to draw this bar chart efficiently. Manual chart is not very easy and fast way. For this tutorial, we will be using the Microsoft Excel tool to draw this chart. So let's deep dive in how to plot this bar chart in Excel sheet. So let's draw a vertical bar chart using the Excel tool. So this is the Excel sheet which I have opened, and also I have the table which is showing the data of the Lisas, where type of cakes is mentioned in column B and the number of cakes mentioned in column C. So to draw the column chart, we need to simply select this data and then go to the Insert tab, and there you will be having the option of the column bar chart. So this one represents the vertical column bar chart, and if you click this will simply insert a chart by utilizing the data which we have here. This is for x-axis and y-axis, and it will simply give you a nice bar chart, vertical bar chart for the data, right? Similarly, let's say if you want to find out that what was the total cost of your pineapple cake or each categories cake, you can do the same by simply making this table first. Remember, if you see this table which basically shows column B as a type of cakes, and then the selling price, which is basically the cost of the cake which Lisa's bought. So if you select this total table, right, and simply go insert, select the chart here, and then simply select the column bar chart, right, and it will give you another chart which basically tells you what is the cost of each category of your cake, right? So this is a very simple way to draw or to plot your column bar chart in Excel. Now another type of chart which we have discussed earlier, that is your group bar chart, right? So for the group bar chart, you need to arrange your data in this format, where you have the categories. For each categories, you need to have the several timeline, or let's say the several data, depending upon for your case, or depending upon how you want to represent the data. So let's say for this case, you are the shop manager for the shop where Lisa bought those cakes, right? So this, if you see here, the column A is basically showing the cakes type, then it also shows the month, and then the sales revenue. So you are the manager of the shop and you want to find out how much sales happened for each month, and then overall total quarterly how much sales has happened, right? So you have this data, the same data of each type of cake month wise for in terms of revenue, and you want to plot this data. So again, once you have this data in this format, where your month is representing x-axis, sales will be again your value axis, and remember we are going to draw first this as horizontal bar or the vertical bar chart group one, right? So again, you need to do the same thing. You select all those data in tables and then go to the insert, and here you simply select this vertical bar chart, you can just simply expand it. Now if you see here, so for pineapple cake category you are getting similar or the data here. Then similarly for the mango cake you are getting the data at this portion in a simpler grouped way. Then for the black forest and strawberry cake similarly. Also you can do the customization. You can change the ranges here by just clicking this the accesses and format the access. There's several options available. Also you can change the color coding. You can select the each column bar and then simply change the fill, right? So if you want to, let's say, have some different fill, maybe you can select this with a different color. So you can customize this chart depending upon your requirement or how you want to look it better, right? But to draw or to plot these graphs, this is how you need to do it. So first important thing is that you need to tabulate your data in this format, and then you simply select those data and insert the bar chart, and that will give you the group bar chart, right? Then the another category is the stacked bar chart, right? So for the stacked bar chart, again you have to just simply plot the data first. So if you see here, we have the same data, and here I have just taken the number of cakes which was sold in each month. So for this is cake type, let's say pineapple, mango, the same category which we discussed previously, and column A. Then we have this month-wise data, the number of the cakes which was sold, right? And now we want to draw the stacked bar chart, right? So stacked bar chart, again the same way. If you click here, select those data, then go to the insert, and then if you select the column bar chart, if you see here, we have the second option in 2D column of a Microsoft Excel tool. We have the chart which is basically showing you the stacked bar chart, right? This is stacked bar vertical chart. So here what you are seeing, for each category there is the values are stacked upon each other and gives you the total numbers in each chart. So if you see here, let's say for pineapple cake, we have this Jan, Feb and March information, and if you add this, just right click and add the label, you can see the same values here. So for pineapple cake it was 583, 875 and 1312. Same information is plotted here in tabular format or in the bar chart in a stacked way. So you can simply see for the quarter one, this is the total number of pineapple cakes which was sold, right? Then you have another category which we have discussed, the horizontal bar chart, right? So far we have drawn in the vertical bar chart. Now horizontal bar chart are the same, only thing is that, let's say we have the same example, right, the same data, and if you want to draw the horizontal bar chart, you need to just simply change the direction, right? Your x-axis and y-axis will reverse. So here in this case, let's say we are taking the same example of the selling sales of each type of cake. We go to insert, here column chart, and if you see the stacked one, we have this option vertical, this is grouped, this is stacked. Similarly, if you go to the third option, we have this is for the horizontal bar chart, and here we have the grouped horizontal bar chart, another one stacked horizontal bar chart. So let's say for this case we go with stacked horizontal bar chart. We'll select this, and this will nicely give you a bar chart in horizontal format and stacked one, right? So the pineapple cake, this is stacked one, and similarly you can see the various type of cakes are available here. So just simply add this data, label against each category, and you will be getting your nice horizontal bar chart. Okay, then we need to discuss another important thing when we're discussing this horizontal bar chart, right? So horizontal bar chart basically means it's represent your x-axis as a timeline. Okay, so when we discuss this timeline and the importance of the timeline in the representing this bar graph or the data in a bar graph is very much important or critical, especially when we are representing any project information, right? So when I say the project information, and if you go with the definition of the project itself, Either you take the PMI definition, that is Project Management Institute, it says that it's a temporary endeavor with beginning and end. It means there's a timeline involved which has certain start date and finish date. Similarly, if we go by APM definition, it also says it's a transient endeavor which is undertaken to achieve plan objective, right? So plan objective means you have something planned which has to be started on particular date and finished at particular date as per your plan. So there's a timeline involved. So if you see, the project is basically the set of tasks which has to be completed with a certain limits or certain timeline, right? So let's take an example of your project, right? So let's say you need to develop an IT platform for Microsoft, and there are certain activity you will be doing, and you have certain expected activity to be done at a particular timeline. So if you see the table, in this table what I did, that this is a list of the activity or list of the tasks which you should be doing to complete that project, and this is what your planning date. You're supposed to start those activity at these dates, right? And the column C is basically representing the duration, the number of days which you will take to complete that activity, right? So this is what this information is given here. Now, if you see, this information format is more or less same as what we discussed for Lisa's case. So here Lisa bought the cakes for various categories, right? Where you have some numbers of the cake, right? So let's say for pineapple cake, there was 5 numbers, or the quantity was 5. Similarly, for other categories, there was some quantity mentioned. Now, if you try to compare this the same with the project information, so if you see here, each task is mentioned here, which is some sort of kind of category, and against each task you have some start dates, right, and some working duration. So this represents there is some quantity of days or quantity of duration against each task, which basically means that is a similar kind of information which we were utilizing previously for the Lisa's example. So to representing this project data in tabular format or in horizontal bar chart is basically your Gantt chart, right? That's what I mean by the Gantt chart. It's nothing but it's a horizontal bar chart represented for the each task of the project in the duration format, right? So let's learn how we can develop the bar chart, or let's say the Gantt chart for the project, because in project management this is one of the critical component representing your project activity or project task in form of chart, right, which is basically known as a Gantt chart. So I have this data available in this sheet. Here you can see that I have the same list of activity, which is start date, working days, and end date, right? And we need to draw this in a horizontal bar chart, which is basically your Gantt chart, right? So to do this, you can either first select this one, these categories here. Let's say we add this, we select this too, and then insert it, and then put it. This will give you the group bar chart, right? This is stack bar chart, but what we need horizontal stack bar chart to represent the information, right? So if I do this like this, right, so it will select all those data, and basically it will add by default values here, right, in the default format. So you can quickly take all those information and plot it to get this information. Now I will do it another way, right? So this is one way. You can simply first add everything and then remove all those information which is not needed, or you can do just simply by inserting a blank chart and only adding what is required, right? I think that's the more efficient than instead of adding everything and then removing that. So what I will do, I will first simply insert a blank chart, right? I will go here, insert a blank stacked horizontal chart. So now this is a blank chart, I have no data in it, and we'll select the data here. So once you have inserted your blank chart, you simply right click and select data. So first thing you need to do is add some series. So the first series is basically you need to add your start date from where you are starting your each activity. So we'll select this, right, and the series values will be your simply this. Okay, So now you have the series, which is basically representing a start date. Okay, then we need another series, which is basically, again, remember, you need to also take account of duration, because you have just mentioned what is the start date. Next information is how much time that each activity will take. So we'll take the working days here. Series value, we'll just select this, right, and then simply click add. So now you have your bar chart available, right? Again, we need to do some adjustment here. First thing that we need to add the series name. So we will select this and click the right click, and then we have format axis. And in this format axis, we can reverse that, but before doing this, let's do one more thing. We need to edit this, because by default it's taking 1 2 3 the series label name. Let's change the label name to the task name. So task names are this one. Let's select this, and it will give you now a proper list of tasks with the start date and the durations of those each task, right? Now if you see here, by default this is coming in reverse order. So what we can do here, just select this format axis, right click, and then if you just select this axis and format it, if you go here, then this will open you this the window here. And if you see here, there's option is categories in reverse order. So what it will do, it will basically reverse all your activities. And now you can see your table is starting from design completed, which is your first activity, and ending with sign off, which is your last activity, right? And then you have the nicely represented your duration for each activity. Okay, now the next thing is that you need to format this, the horizontal the timeline, right? So currently now is by default it's starting with 1st September 11th September, then ending at July, which is default. Excel choose those limits. To correct those limits, because we have this project, we know the start date is 1st Jan, ending date is somewhere 23rd May, so we can do those adjustments. So what we need to do, we need to basically change these ranges. So you need to just select the horizontal bar first, click right click, format axis. This will open you this dialog box. Here if you see the axis option, bounds, minimum and maximum. So these are basically these ranges which by default Excel is taking. You need to change this to your required or as per your start and finish date. So if you see the start and finish date, if it's 1st Jan 2022, the numerical value for this date is 44562, right? And now currently it's taking 44450. So if you change this to 44562, right, and this will basically start with you. So this means that now your project is starting with 1st Jan, which is what we have discussed here, right? Then another thing is this, you need to also align the end date. So end date is 44704. We'll take this, right, and we'll just format this axis, and we'll just place it there. So now your column bar chart is perfectly aligned as per your expectations, right? So you have the start date, finish date. Only thing is that you're seeing this the blue chart, which is actually representing the start date values, which is not needed because we have already added our durations. So we need to remove this. So for removing it, we simply select this column and we remove the fill from here, right? So we'll just take the no fill, and now you can see for each activity, you can in your graph you can quickly see what is your from where to where these activities are starting, from which date, and you can nicely see from start to finish date your Gantt chart is ready for your project, right? So this is how you can develop the Gantt chart, and you can do the several customization, and I'm not going to detail of the beautification and making various other format of this chart, but in terms of concept, this is how you can quickly develop your Gantt chart for your project. So, and which is basically another horizontal bar chart format in terms of concept wise.